This is the continuation of the one-step equation video. We're just going to finish this topic with some more example problems. The next problem we're looking at, the x is on the right side of the equal sign, and the 12 is the problem number. The x and the 12 are separated by addition. The sign in front of the 12 is an addition sign, so the inverse operation is subtraction. So we subtract 12 from each side. I like to work left from right if you haven't noticed. It keeps everything nice and neat. I make sure I bring each piece down. So I take 9 and I subtract 12 and I get -3. Then I carry down the equal sign. Then I carry down the x. And then I see that I have a 0 pair. Those cancel each other out, so I'm left with x equals -3. Number 14. The x is on the right side, and the problem number that is keeping the x from being alone is the 7. The x and the 7 are separated by additions. The inverse operation is subtraction. So we subtract 7 from each side, and we get -15 is equal to x. This is a 0 pair, so we don't even need to bother writing +0 because x plus 0 is just x. So x equals -15. Number 15. The x is on the right side. The problem number that is keeping x from being alone is the 4. And the operation going on between the 4 and the x is multiplication. The inverse operation or opposite operation of multiplication is division. You divide each side by 4. Notice that we're always dividing by the problem number. So the problem number is the 4. We're trying to get rid of that, so we divide both sides by that 4. On the left side, 64 divided by 4 is 16. And then 4 divided by 4 is 1, so we get 1x. So x is equal to 16. Make sure that after this lesson that you know that x is the same as 1x, that -x is the same as -1x. This is going to be a key concept for you as you work with solving equations. If you don't see a number, that coefficient is -1. Again, if you don't see a number here, since there's no negative symbol out front, it's just a +1. Number 16. The variables on the left side this time, and the x and the -5, which is the problem number, are separated by division. The inverse of division is multiplication. On the left side, I multiply by -5/1. On the right side, I'm just going to multiply by -5. On the left side, I get -5x in the numerator and -5 in the denominator. On the right side, I get -125. And -5 divided by -5 is 1. So I get 1x equals -125. And finally, x equals -125. A few more problems to go. The variable's on the right side. The variable is separated from the -8 by addition. The key here is to look at the sign that's in front of the problem number, as we call it. And the sign in front of the problem number is a negative. So the inverse of subtraction, or a negative, is addition, or a +8. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other to maintain equality. -15 plus 8 is -7. Carry down that equal sign. And then -8 plus 8 is a 0 pair. So we're left with 0 and then x. So essentially we're just really left with x. So x equals -7. Number 18. The variables on the left side. The variable and the 12, the problem number, are separated by division and the inverse operation multiplication. On the left side, I have to multiply by 12/1 because I'm multiplying by a fraction. On the right side, I can just multiply by 12. On the left, I get 12x in the numerator, 12 in the denominator. On the right, -7 times 12 is -84. +12 divided by +12 is just 1, so we get 1x equals -84. Number 19. The x, or the variables on the right side, and the x and the 16 are separated by multiplication. The inverse of multiplication is division, so I divide each side by 16. On the left, I get negative 8/16. On the right side, I get just x, because 16 over 16 equals 1. And then I can reduce this. Negative 8 divided by 16. The factor that goes into both 8 and 16 is 8. Negative 8 divided by 8 is negative 1. 16 divided by 8 is positive 2. So it's negative 1/2. So x equals negative 1/2. And the final problem. The x is on the left side of the equal sign. The problem number is the 4. It's a positive 4, so the inverse operation is subtraction. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other to maintain equality. We have a 0 pair, so all that we're really left with on the left side is an x. And then on the right side, negative 15 minus 4 is negative 19, so x equals negative 19.